them at their best because you're right. I want to succeed for them, Yummy, but Elite, they have that experience.
Well, let's get underway. A match for top 8, a match to get into the top 8 championship Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be an immediate kickoff goal.
That's what you love to see, especially if you're global elite. You just
love to see it.
If you're global elite, all right, you get that first goal out of the way. You're like, all right, sweet, we've already got the lead here. What's the worst can happen?
Well, considering this is for historically the most nerve-wracking series for a lot of these teams, that top 8, a landmark, is a massive moment. It's the time where prize pool begins. There's no prize money for 9th to 16th. And it goes to the next level. So this is so nerve-wracking. To get a goal in 3 seconds, you're like, oh, okay, it's fine, we can get into it.
For those teams that aren't really worried about points, you know, they're not really looking towards a major. They're just looking, it's knowing that every game can lead to that, you know, couple grand in your pocket. It's got to be weighing on your mind as you go on the series.
I'd like a couple of grand in my pocket, but unfortunately, not on the pitch, nowhere close to this level these days. And first goal still going down, but it has relaxed a little bit. More midfield play coming out for both these. Or should it be a shot from Shu? The double off the backboard out of nowhere.
The oldest player showing the most fundamental mechanic. Perfect read there. And to get the follow-up, Shu with a 2-goal lead.
You hit the nail on the head. Being able to get the challenge, read that first touch, but also follow for the double shows the level of mechanics that this older dog still has in his pocket.
And that has to just put something in FIZ6's mind. You are 1 minute in to that top 8 game and you're already down 2 goals. Haven't had too many opportunities on the net. And Global Elite just seem to keep firing with these midfield passes and putting you on the defensive end.
See what you did there, something. And you got to tell me a little bit more about Sum, because we haven't seen too much of him in the RLCS on the mainstream. So how do you think he's going to be performing in top 8?
Sum has had that level of inconsistency from what I've heard, has been, you know, playing with the top level of players and then just taking that break. The classic OCE retirement, just, you know, grinds really hard for a few months and then takes that foot off the gas, and because of that has been seen as that little bit of an inconsistent player. I believe with the likes of Shu and Negative could be someone that we see look to step up. You know, you're playing with what I believe to be 2 very consistent players.
Well, I spoke with Negative as well yesterday, and he was saying that he just wants a team that'll stick together, which has been a big problem in the bubble scene, not just in OCE, in all regions, but especially in OCE. And he hasn't found a couple of people that'll stick together, grow over time, and get better. So hopefully, you know, they can take a page out of FIZ6. Oh, Rota's missed as well. That one goes in. Smash makes up for it.
That's the follow-up you need. Put it in with authority after that close top corner miss. Good follow-up from Smash there, and now signs of life from FIZ6.
It's especially good because FIZ6 have spent so much time right in front of that net, taking shots almost too close. And well, that was still a shot that was too close and went high, but they had that follow-up. They had that further away from the net play that was harder for the defenders to get out to.
Now Rota looking for a good touch off the backboard. Have a few more opportunities. But right now, Global Elite just happy to play the ball close, happy to keep the ball in this corner, knowing at the end of the day, if they just wind down enough time, they will walk away with a Game 1 win. And I feel this has been Negative's bread and butter, is this real defensive style play where they wait for their opportunities to make those counterattacks.
Well, that's kind of where the other side of the foot of, you know, some people criticizing him for often just clearing the ball out of defense and doing whatever he can to get it to the other side. It is a great way to hold on to a lead like this. And it is a good way to, I guess, keep the pressure off, keep the nerves off, because if the ball's at the other end, the ball's getting out of defense, it's hard to be nervous.
And it can cause a bit of frustration as well. You know, you're constantly just having to go back and forth, not quite able to make any good attempts happen. And then when that final third man gets demoed or a play develops, that's when a quick counterattack can happen. Has happened with that double we saw from Shu. Now FIZ6 running out of time to make something happen here.
They're being pinned a lot in their own half. The midfield line being held quite well right now. And Negative is going to keep that one forward. Shu also hanging out in that midfield spot, just trying to keep it pinned in, nobody committing too hard, and even some challenges almost going their way.
Yeah, they're finding themselves on the attack quite a bit. Now finally find themselves back in that corner. Ball up nice and high. Shu looking for the double. Does get a good read downfield. Vic with a Hail Mary into the midfield. Rhoda with a good follow-up. Smash waiting upfield for this touch, but couldn't quite get the touch.
He wanted to put that one into center, and then he's mistouched that one as well. Smash. Oh, had a couple of opportunities to get this 30-second goal. They're going to have to work extra hard now. Smash misses again. He's having a real tough one.
Now with the pressure into their corner, they're going to be running out of time. A miss coming out there, but Vic's waiting patiently for it. Doesn't matter though. Shu on the backboard, playing a very deep third man, is going to help clear the ball. And now that is the kind of defense you want. You are just looking to waste time. You're not wanting to overcommit. Such a good... It's the professional, you know, it's the veterancy coming in, knowing how to play in these crucial moments.
They've been comfortable just trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead for about 2.5 minutes. So game one, going the way of Global Elite, Negative Sum and Shu are showing that their nerves as well are well held on, that they're not really trying to overextend too much.
And just to touch on a point you made during the game is that Negative wanting the longevity of a roster. The team that we saw before, Dumb Luck, Negative did make a top 8 along with Baz and Myth, and they've decided to make that trade twice. Yeah, now Negative consistently seeming to find these teams that can break in the top 8.
He's able to do it. The big step for Negative and Shu is to go to that next step, top 8. You can do it in OCE if you can get the right run, if you can take down the right teams, if you're able to play consistently, that'll usually get you some top 8s. But top 6, I feel like that's when it gets truly difficult. You start having to take on some of those top teams, even just like a Him Police, the 95X, those teams that are already challenging, maybe even to go top 4, top 3, you need to be able to beat them. And I do agree with Negative. It's going to take some time to build to get to that spot.
And we do talk about the double elim. It's perfect for it because you're not just constantly getting stuck at that 8th to 5th placing. You know, you're not really able to make it further. This time you can get that one placing. You can set yourself apart from that top 8, get into top 6 with that extra win. And right now, both these teams, this is going to set them up to put themselves in that position.
Well, you get that, you know, often when you're in that 5th to 8th in a single elimination, you're playing one of the top 3 teams, top 4 teams maybe. But when you're playing in the lower bracket of a double elim, playing for 5th, 6th, you're versing other teams that are currently sitting in that 5th to 8th spot. So you have such a closer chance. You're not getting these more one-sided affairs in regions where it is you know, a big gap between some of the best teams going to the major and maybe your newer bubble team.
Just having to avoid that big 3 is always a good case here in OCE as we now get game 2 underway. No early kickoff goal here for Global Elite, and FIZ6 now going to get that fresh start into the game.
Really didn't like that from Sam. He had all the room in the world. He decided to push it away from himself instead of going for a dribble or a good touch. It hasn't really cost them the chance to keep some pressure. They have kept this one pinned in the defensive half of FIZ6, but did maybe give up a chance at a goal.
We're talking about those mechanics from FIZ6, especially in Roto. Haven't quite been able to see that here in this series so far. Really looking for that kind of high overarching pass plays and not really too much space given for these solo plays.
Another breakaway here for Negative, just going for that long clear, and that is the disadvantage. You know, if you clear it out and your opponents are ready for it, if you have somebody like Vic holding really far back, it gives away the possession. It gives a chance at the other end, and what a save from Sum coming out of the back of the net.
Almost dunked their way to victory, but Sum is able to get a good 50 on the goal line. Now looking to turn it into a counter-attack, but FIZ6 waiting patiently as Negative is on the corner there. Looking to play it straight back down. Shu now looking for the double, does trickle out into midfield, but a big clear there from Global Elite will put possession back into the FIZ6 corner.
Rhoda has smash and support, opts for a high pass. Negative as well, it's up to it quickly, which was important. Smash was possibly looking for a double off the backboard. Reed as Fate comes out. Shu gets the clear pass. It's going to just get grounded down in the midfield.
What's a bit of confusion there from, I believe, Global Elite. having a bit of confusion there in the midfield, are able to clean it up, and FIZ6 now find themselves on the offensive end. Good midfield pass, negative with the read.
We've already seen a lot more good opportunities to score coming out from FIZ6 in this series, in this game, than game number 1. It is much more in their control, but they haven't been able to boost steal. Some of the demos have been mistimed, like the one that they just got. Hasn't been able to open up the net to make a goal easy like this one. Oh, the net opened up by itself.
Vic choosing to play off that backboard, not reading. Smash just opting to try and catch or even go for boost. And Some just catches the defense off guard.
He mustn't have known that there was a player there. I'm not sure why he's not jumping, but that's the second time this game from Smash where he's trying to just play too grounded and hoping that his presence would be enough to keep the opponents away. But this is threes. You can afford to throw somebody at a ball like that, and it's going to score a goal. It's maybe even going to be another one now. Sam finds his second.
Some, the player that we haven't seen too often, now coming out with 2 goals here in game 2. Just a perfect 50 read there. Did one on the goal line previously, and now does one for the open net. Global Elite 2-goal lead here.
You see a little bit of panic coming out from Smash there. Just throwing himself, thinking that that's 100% going to be a 50, but, well, he went too early, and that lost him such a big challenge. A 2-goal lead now, and in an important game that could give Global Elite match point.
And it does seem Global Elite have found a good combination of players. They seem to be on the same page. They are playing well together, and really, it's translating well into this series.
The one thing, they are very structured at the moment, which I really like from a new team.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. Oh, please.
All the way down the field. Such an awkward challenge there. Just Rhoda couldn't quite get to it. And just the boom downfield from negative.
Oh, it's just so... nothing will go right for FIZ6 at the moment. I guess FIZ6 just not going their way.
You get a 50 that leads to a goal, then you get that on the goal line. At what point do you start putting your head down here, Young?
There's a big open net miss as well, but it's not going to matter when you're 3 goals up. And it's at this point, a minute and a half, that it starts feeling a little bit down as a player, but you know you still have that opportunity. You still know that you have just enough time to be able to at least try and win. So I would hope that they don't put their heads down despite how bad it's been going for them.
One thing I'm noticing is it seems FIZ6 have more faith in the capabilities of Global Elite. You're always seeing this backboard defense awaiting double touches, and that's when Global Elite are saying, all right, well, I'll just shoot low then. I'm not going to go for, these high overarching mech plays. They're just happy to play this fundamentals, and FIZ6 don't seem to be reading that.
Haven't read them, and there's been a boost and possession advantage going the way of Global Elite too, and they're not using the time well enough, FIZ6, when they have it. They've been being gifted some open areas of the pitch, but so many times they haven't made good use of it. They haven't had good solo plays. They haven't found some passing plays, and it's more been about trying to play pressure against a team that are happy to kind of play it out of defense anyway.
And those passes we have seen come to fruition. They've been working really well, but they're just getting read so well by the defense here of Global Elite. And now with the time winding down, game 2, Global Elite looking to get out the brooms here.
It's looking extremely likely, Tins. Global Elite getting this one 3-0, a much cleaner game than game number 1. And also an important one, as Some finally has a kind of MVP game.
Yeah, Some looking really good, matching into the team well. I'm not too sure about who Sum's played with in the past. I know has attempted a few times in RLCS, but this seems to be the first really good run that Sum's having here, and possibly even first top 8.
I remember he was on Wazoo or Zawu, one of those 2 teams at some point. I think so. No, hang on. It was on Sum's parents. He was on Cleanup Crew in the past, but hasn't quite had that top 8 performance just yet. So this would be his first one if he could make it. He's had 9th to 12th or 9th to 11th in Swisses at the end of last season, but yeah, this could be his first. He's on the cusp.
Yeah, we've seen Shu sneak in there as well. We've seen Negative in there multiple times. So maybe, you know, along these two players, that's just going to help Some bring to that next level and really start to show, because I think Some brings a really good dynamic here to this roster. It has that ability to go up. I would like to say maybe the mechiest on the team, but I just think we don't see much unnecessary mech here from Shu and Negative.
Yeah, we can see it. Sometimes Shu brings out some great goals. I mean, we saw it with that challenge into a double at the very beginning of the series. But, you know, we're looking for that player, the team that is going to be the next big player that's going to be hitting top fours in the future. And this is a chance for Some to kind of start down that road.
There seems to be a really good matchup for Global Elite. Their playstyle just working well against FIZ6 here, though. Demo's coming out left, right, and center. Shot on target. Play it aside early here in this game.
Early on, a little bit of pressure coming out. FIZ6 have dealt with it well and even got the clear to the other end. And these spots here where it's stuck in front of the defense and it's gone really close, have never worked out for FIZ6. It's always been too easy for Global Elite to just stay behind that ball and get the save.
The corner being a speciality here for Global Elite. They're happy to play because they know the corner isn't really a threat. Nothing's going to come on target, especially the FIZ6 aren't able to really find that though. Shot on target there. Save the side from Smash.
I do quite like that defense though. They send one person up nice and high to cover a backboard double and force the touch to go low. And the defenders behind didn't panic, didn't double commit like they were earlier on in the series. They just waited knowing that the first player was forcing it low and dealt with it then.
High in the goal square here. Rhoda goes for the reset. I don't know if he got it, but Vig's there for the follow-up. Negative gets the 50 and the save, along with a clear, but FIZ6's run isn't over just yet. Smash with a good midfield touch. It is going to be a possible open net here if he can get back to it. Just able to clear it aside. Yeah,
not enough speed on the ball for that fake to be able to really take out the defender. You could cover both options and has left a chance for a counter-attack at the other end. FIZ6 not having the follow-up, and that's been a major difference between these two teams. When FIZ6 does get it to the other end, it kind of fizzles out very quickly, compared to Global Elite are able to keep it pinned in for a while and steal the boost away. But there's an opening and Smash does find the first one for FIZ6.
We talked about those passes going in a mid, and that is a perfect one from Rhoda. Finds the teammate perfectly just around Shu. And FIZ6, that is the lead that they needed. Is that going to ignite something?
And Some as well, just missing off the corner. You're misreading the bounce that has been costly. This is going to be an interesting position to see if Global Elite can make that comeback from being a goal behind.
Yeah, now maybe having to be a bit more on the aggressive end. Can't quite let the game come to then. Having to make a few midfield challenges as that one does go Smash's way. Get the reset past one. Sum's caught awkwardly, and that's just going to be a shot on target. Rhoda puts it away. FIZ6, a whole new team here in game 3.
They're causing a lot of mistakes come out. The flip reset beats one. Some was not expecting the first one to get beaten, was more covering the net and opens it up nicely. Smash had a little bit of a trouble in game 2, and now he's firing back.
Found that form. Good win on kickoff here from Vic. Will take possession. But Shu challenging from behind early. Does not want to give too much time on the ball here. Rhoda just trying to keep it alive. Looking for a midfield beat. Does beat one. And right now, FIZ6 pushed really deep into Global Elite's side here.
That's been not really actually the spot that they've been able to score from. It's more been the breakaways, the quicker plays out of the midfield. But if you've got a 2-goal lead, keeping it close to your opponents is in a better spot. Negative wins the race and gets the goal.
Just that touch off the corner. Not enough boost to get the follow-up, but just enough. And the faith Negative has is up. Extremely quick for that one to beat out the defense. Global Elite aren't counting themselves out just yet.
In the past, Bandits, now FIZ6, had so much problems with their defense, and you still kind of see it. It just doesn't really feel very proactive. Even in that one, it felt like a whole bunch of ants running around the net. Nobody really sure who to go. Very tentative, some players, and kind of almost faking each other out. And it's falling apart again, but Some's got the second. It's tied up.
Shu has been so crucial to this team's success. Sniping in the mid, finding Some, puts it away. Global Elite tie it up. Still plenty of time to go in this game. FIZ6, they had the lead. They looked to be on form, but you're right, just collapsing a little bit on the defensive end.
They just look so passive in that play. All three members running back to their corner and then going, oh, actually, we kind of need to challenge this. But by the time they did, it was way too late. Nobody ready to hold the net either. It's very not same page. It's very different or difficult defense that they're making for themselves.
Which is confusing because we see, at least I've noticed on the offensive end, they have such good communication. No, the ball has just run rampant. The negative, yet again, continuously finding these long clears.
You can just count on FIZ6 to leave their net wide open. It's just the story. They've been on the cusp of top 8 so many times, and how many times have we seen them just leave in so many goals like this? They shouldn't be doing it.
Every split, I hope it changes, Yomi, and every time we come back, it just seems to be the same problem time and time again. Just not able to get the rotation down pat as the third player. And it's going to probably end their run here in game 3.
Well, it's not even just their first player. You know, their first man's not challenging. They're all kind of in the exact same spot on the pitch. They're all kind of running back to that same back boost. It's like they're too similar. They've played together for so long that they all think the exact same way, and sometimes that's bad for a team. You need to have differences that complement each other more than 3 players all doing the exact same thing.
Just over 30 seconds left. This is the time. It's all or nothing. Some with a really good clear downfield. Roto having to make an early challenge. Great demos there from Vic. Will clear up plenty of time. Will they be able to use it correctly, though? Great challenge from Shu. And that's just going to buy more time for Global Elite.
Pass down, negative intercepts. That's something that he's been brilliant at throughout this series, is the intercepts in front of net to prevent that passing play. We've seen multiple 3-man passing attempts, and it's one last chance here for FIZ6 to stay in the series.
And they are stuck in their corner. Negative's not going to keep that ball up any longer. Global Elite find themselves into that top 8. Sum's first one, Negative and Shu, they are no stranger to this feeling. Could this be the start of this team's run this split?
Their dream of getting beyond top 8 as well on the cards. Their chance of getting a top 6, a top 4, depending on who their opponents would be, coming down from the upper bracket, coming up from the lower bracket. This is their chance, but they've already made